My name is Matilda Dunlop. I'm 23 years old. I'm from a small city in the northeast of England called Newcastle. And tomorrow I am on trial in Peterborough in the Crown Court, where I've been accused of burglary and could potentially face up to 10 years in prison. It feels really weird saying that, despite the fact that I've been on trial for 3 years and been under investigation for 3 years. The trial begins tomorrow for me and my co-defendants, but it's been an ongoing process for months now, where different groups of us have been going on trial. I believe that I did not break the law and that I'm not a burglar. What I did was rescue puppies from a puppy breeding factory where they are bred for animal testing and are kept in horrific conditions and then ultimately killed. So it feels really weird to be here saying that I'm on trial for something that feels so right. I wanted to document this process and share what it's like to be an activist who is standing up for what they believe in, and how it is to face and have to surrender to the injustice system of the UK, but also of this Western world that we live in. So yeah, this is the story of me being on trial for rescuing 18 Beagle puppies. Oh, you're so cute. This is my room, which when I got here yesterday, it was just blank and white. And I have put all of my favourite things up to keep me grounded. Lots of photos reminding me why I did this. Lots of nourishing books that I'm reading. Teddy, of course. A little Beagle, of course. And then lots of green things from outside, just to make it feel less clinical and white. And this is my little altar space that I come to every morning, and I sit here and just try and ground and remind myself who I am and why I did this. And I also practice here too. I do movement and meditate and play my guitar. It is really asking me, this process, to pull on all of my tools and all of the things I know that can resource me, and it's so draining. There feels like there's no choice but to do everything that is in my toolkit, which is going outside and hugging a tree, which is collecting leaves to bring them into my room to remind me that although this is my view, I am surrounded by nature, and that is why I'm doing this, for the freedom of all beings. But yeah, it's really tricky, and basically the past week I've just felt like I'm on the edge of exploding all the time. There's this electricity inside of me, and I just I've burnt out and I have to keep forcing myself through, despite all that I'm doing to try and nourish myself. It's asking a lot of me, and it's interesting arriving in such a clinical white space, and that is what the legal system feels like too. It's so clinical and isolating, and you're put in this box away from everyone. And it's funny that the place that we're renting on Airbnb for this trial is like that too. So I'm really grateful that I've put up things that remind me that I am loved, like a little card from my mom and from my best friends and from my little sister, and my favourite rocks. Yeah, it feels really tricky though. I even have a photo my sister made me in the bathroom, so when I brush my teeth every morning before court, I can remember that I'm loved and why I'm doing this. I'm currently writing my evidence and trying to get it as much as I can, which is really hard because there's this balance of just not preparing and like just speaking from the heart, but then also when you're on the stand and being like questioned, it feels so, it like, it's gonna make me feel so anxious that I feel like I need to prepare a bit so I don't just have nothing in my head. But I feel like out of breath with anxiety, trying to write and prepare. But then out the window, we just saw a red kite, and we're in the centre of Peterborough. Like, why is there a red kite in the centre of Peterborough? And red kites to me are birds that teach me like perspective and bird's eye and looking around the whole landscape, but then focusing in and zooming out again and like choosing very carefully and with like this trust and grace. They have like this just easeful grace to them. So I feel like I was meant to see the red kite for a reason, and I need to trust and zoom out and then zoom in. It's going to be a pretty slow day today in court. There'll be a lot of legal discussions and arguments, and if we're lucky we might get the jury in, which will be nice to see how the selection process goes. I'm feeling so excited and grateful for everybody who's been supporting us, and feel really ready to share my story with the jury and judge. I am done for today. I feel so exhausted and so tired and so emotional and drained and like super in my head and fried, and also have this like gratitude as well. It's such a mix of emotions. My body like doesn't quite know what to do. But we just went into the cathedral, Peterborough Cathedral, which is so beautiful, and now I'm with a yew tree, which feels like amazing to connect to nature after all day being in a windowless room. I'm really proud of myself and really proud of the people that I'm on trial with, and so grateful for everybody's support.
Matty, where have you gone? Oh!
I'm lying on the floor. I don't really know how I got here, but I am on the floor. I've just been crying and crying and crying. I just feel so lonely and so scared. so angry and so heartbroken and just so much grief. And it's so hard because these emotions like aren't welcome in the court system. So it makes me feel so lonely because I can't not feel them. I'm literally like, I'm incapable of not feeling. I always have been. And that's why I rescued those dogs, because I couldn't suppress what was happening to them. I had to do something. I just feel like I'm not doing enough, and that I need to do more, and that I'm just so scared seeing the jury today. And yeah, seeing the jury today and seeing the judge, and it was just no words. And there's still a voice that's telling me that I need to do more. I need to move my body. I need to go downstairs and talk to people. And I just want to lie on the floor. I just want to lie on the floor. I'm naked, covered in a blanket, and tears and snot. And it makes me feel so much less lonely to like know that I'm gonna share this, and that other people might see it who need to see it. Oh, it's so sad that you can have the most beautiful people in your life who love you, and you can still feel so lonely and so isolated and so unworthy and too much. And everything, I feel like, distills down to these like core themes, these core wounds that the systems we live in have been created to make us feel. And I know like that sounds like political and like annoying, but like it's true. We're not meant to feel this way. I don't feel like this is the true experience of being human. I don't want to think, I just want to cry. I just want to cry and eat chocolate and be licked by lots of puppies in a puddle of warm orange juice. I just want to be like in a bed with lots of puppies right now. I would really like that. This is the reality of being on trial. My eye is so swollen. It's just crazy because you're like made to feel like you need to care about everything the jury will think about you. And like, it's just not something I care about, but I like having to make myself think about that. And like thinking like, what are they gonna think about my eye? They're gonna think that a little Beagle puppy licked my eye clean. Licked me all better. This court trial is showing me
and teaching me so much about myself and also about being human and what it means to be human and what it means to feel, and how that is possibly the most courageous thing of all, to feel. To feel. It's so hard. It's so hard to feel. To feel it all. And when I cry and when I grieve, which is sometimes really hard to do. Always, every single time, it moves and there's space again. And there's joy. There's so much joy and love and gratitude and magic. And it's like the tide, it's like flowing in and out, and it's this constriction. I'm feeling so isolated, and then like isolating myself and being with my wounds and licking my wounds and like screaming about them and being like, why does it hurt so much? And then coming out of my little cave and seeing that there's a sky and there's other things, and whoa, I have a bit of space inside, and I just laughed, and there are people who love me. Even if I haven't met them yet, I know there are people who love me. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself.
It is the morning of the second day and it's raining quite a lot, and every morning I go out for a walk since I've been here, trying to land in the city and also walk my beautiful baby Roo. I've got to the park, but I've been carrying this with me for like 10 minutes now, which is something I took out of somebody's bin to pick up a shit. That is Roo's, because the poo bags were in my pocket, but security at prison yesterday made me take them out and I forgot to put them back in. So I now can't feel my fingers because it is so cold and wet. Because when I picked up the shit with this little cardboard box, because I didn't want to leave it on the street, I also got dog shit on my hand. So now I have a freezing claw hand that has dog shit in. This is a testament to how much I loved my dog, how much I love dogs, and like why we did this rescue. I'm gonna have to put my phone away because it's so rainy and it looks like it's gonna break. So we've just come out of court and it's day 2, and the prosecution have given most of their evidence, and it was so hard to see all the footage and to see the people who are gonna decide if we're guilty or not guilty, and like to like be there feeling all of this feeling and like not feeling safe to like truly express it. Like I was crying and sobbing, but like also trying to hold it in, and it took all my strength to do that. And it's just so difficult to be in this environment and like bring humanness, because it's so clinical and so not human. But I just feel like more than anything, like just deep gratitude and so much pride in myself and like in the people that I'm on this trial with. And I just feel like so happy that we are
a part of this movement, and that we're bringing humanness into the most unhuman place possible. So yeah, I think that's all I have capacity to say right now. We're gonna go buy a blazer in Sue Ryder. I'm on my way for a walk after court. Gonna slowly head back to the house. Today has been literally every feeling possible in one, and I am so exhausted.
I'm here like, don't.
Hi.
What, the food?
I want to feed them with my hand, but I'm scared.
I think, and like maybe in the middle of
I don't want to like scare them. Oh no!
Oh, this one's the big
Are you
guy.
the big boy? Are you the boss man?
Look at those wings.
So I just gave my evidence a couple of hours ago, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, to feel so much pressure, so much repression, to feel so isolated, to feel so looked at and scrutinized and picked apart, and to feel like the truth that just wanted to come from my heart was stopped. And yet what poured out of me was love and truth, and despite feeling so in my head and shaking with anxiety and crying and feeling sick and having to go to the toilet because I almost shut myself multiple times, to feel all of that and to also feel what was coming through me was truth and love. And knowing that that is one of the most radical things, to allow that love to flow in a place like that. And the thing is, I haven't efforted. It isn't an effort for that. It isn't an effort for me to bring this love. It feels like that's the easeful thing. The effortful thing is to resist against it and to say what I think I should say, to suppress my tears and emotions. And I have never felt or seen or heard humanity as clearly as I do now. Never. And after one of the hardest days of my life, I feel so cracked open with love and gratitude. And I feel everything has brought me to this moment, and that this moment is one of the most formative of my life, and that this moment is also one of the hardest. And just remembering and feeling in my body in a way I never have, that the struggle and the pain is a catalyst and is a chrysalis, and from that place we transform. And that is what activism is. It doesn't feel like, of course me rescuing the puppies was activism, but somehow feeling this with so much love feels like the activism. To be in court, which is a tendril of the justice system or injustice system that is at the heart and core and eye of the storm of chaos and destruction in this world, and to be there and to feel love, and for that to feel so true, and to be like, I see you, barrister who's trying to send me to prison, I see you and I love you. And like, I'm not just saying that, like I actually feel that. And it's kind of like, what? But also makes so much sense because like my dear friend Anna, who's been supporting me, said we all come from the same stuff. We all come from the earth. We all come from a womb, and we're all children at one point in our life. And that's hardened. So yeah, I have cried so much, I've grieved so much, I feel I'm transforming so much and learning about myself and the world and love and pain in a way that I could never ever have conceived. And yes, this is all about the Beagles, and yet it is about so much more. It's about everything, because the Beagles are connected to everything.
I love you. You're not in focus at all. This is my cubby and I love Cub so much. They've supported me so much through this course, and whenever I talk about Cub, I have to talk in this voice because I love Cub so much.
I couldn't hear anything.
You're gonna
you
be
said.
in this video.
Oh my gosh.
I
Hi.
love you, Cub.
I love you,
What
buddy.
do you want to say to the video?
I love everybody
Yay!
and everything ever, and I'm so grateful.
That's what I just said.
And it's a beautiful day.
Yay, and you are beautiful.
I am beautiful. You are beautiful. Everybody is beautiful.
Mwah, mwah. Ow, ow, ow!
That is so gorgeous. Look at the shapes they're making. They're flying home. We're all flying home.
If that's not a sign,
I don't know what it is.
Good morning. So, I had to do it again. This has apparently become a theme of this week, where I forget to bring poo bags and have to go into people's bins and find cardboard to put the shit in. It is day 4, Thursday, somehow. It's weird because it feels like it's gone so fast and like it's been like a month at the same time. But I am going to be cross-examined this morning by the prosecution, which if I feel into it I feel nervous about, but I'm just trying not to think about it because I just want to stay as grounded as I can. Genuinely, yesterday was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like, I'm still processing how fucked up the court system is. It's just absolutely bonkers. Yeah, today I'm gonna be giving my responses to the prosecution, whatever they ask me, and after that my character references will be read out and then my case will be closed, and then I can speak to my barrister because I'm not able to speak to my barrister until then, which is so fucked up. So I'm like isolated from her, and then Mike and Ben and Ash will probably give their evidence today too. Yeah, it's a big day. It's a big day. I need to like start heading back to get ready and find a bin for this shit box. When you're ready. So I was cross-examined today. I did my evidence yesterday. And I was so nervous to be cross-examined, but I felt so rooted, and it was so interesting being like examined by a white man, and like the tactics he used to gaslight me and silence me and make me feel small, and it just felt like it washed off me, and I was just rooted, and I was speaking for like so much more than myself. Thanks. Speaking for so much more than myself, and I'm just so proud and feel so much gratitude and joy. And the prosecution pushed us hard today, but it's because I think they're scared. They're scared of the love that we're bringing into this space, and I felt every emotion I think there is to feel today, but I'm ending it with immense gratitude and pride.
Thank you.
And we're also so proud of Matthew as well.
These are my loves.
I have been behind the camera the whole time.
Yes, this is the camera being.
You've got to not pretend the camera's there. You just gotta eat a pea or something, Ronnie. But I'm finished. Good nice pea that.
Skinny little bean. Such a skinny little bean. He's like a little otter.
It is Friday morning and we're in bed. We don't have court today, so it's the start of the weekend for us. And it feels really weird waking up at the time that I should be in court. And my body feels very anxious and shaky, and I feel just a lot. And it's like, I thought it would be a relief to have some space and a rest, but actually I don't feel that. It actually feels like this waiting game, which is another part of why this system is so broken. And I feel like it's gonna be hard for me to relax. And I'm gonna be spending a lot more time alone this weekend, which I do think I need, but also I feel very anxious about.
I'm at the park with Rue. Hi. And I'm listening to the robin on the tree just next to me. You can probably hear him singing away. And then in this cage are some budgies. And they're singing to the robin, and the robin's singing to them. Sometimes there's so much grief and the knowledge and knowing of how many people are not free, how many beings are not free. And coming to this cage, I felt like I didn't have it in me. I couldn't look at these budgies because it's too much to look at them in this cage, pulling out their feathers because they're so stressed. But I don't want to constrict from this grief and this pain. And that's really hard sometimes, but I'm just watching these budgies singing to the robin. I just feel so grateful for them as teachers. That they don't know any barriers, they don't know any cages, and even though they're trapped in this cage, they're still singing. They're still singing to each other. And if that isn't the most beautiful lesson I've ever, then I don't know what is. I know it's so hard to like know what to do. To see so many beings suffering right now. It's so hard, and sometimes we need to look away. Sometimes it's too much. But also sometimes we can sing to them and for them and hold them with love in our hearts. And I know that might sound weird, but they feel it. I was just singing to those budgies and they were singing back to me. They were looking at me and tilting their head and singing to me. They know. They can feel it. This trial is about the beagles, but it's also about every being that is in a cage. It's about every human that is trapped by oppression. It's about freeing, and it may be a small act to save 18 beagles when millions of beings are trapped and being killed. Billions of beings, but it's 18 more than nothing.
Ah, Dusha.
Feeling sad and a bit lost today. I also felt this yesterday. It's really hard to go from having so much support and like all the people I love with me to then feeling alone, and like for that to happen very quickly and from one extreme to another. I feel like I'm in my prison outfit. Didn't think about that. Johnny Cash and Stripes. Yeah, I'm feeling sad and I feel lost and don't really know. Nothing is really helping, so I'm just like accepting this is what I feel like and it will pass. I also feel really anxious about when this trial ends, and like just how abrupt that's going to be and how quick that's going to be. And we've waited 3 years for this, and then it's just going to end, and I feel anxious for that transition. And I'm trying to remain present, but also trying to like create some sort of plans to like support me and help me when this trial does end. I just feel very anxious, and I don't really know how to like integrate everything in the best way for me right now. But I got a beautiful letter yesterday from my dear friend Rosie. I love you. And then I got a beautiful letter this morning from my dear friend Naomi. I love you. And I just feel so grateful. And whenever I feel alone, I'm reminded that I'm not. And that all these people are there for me. And right now I need to be alone. I need to like process this week and come back into my center, myself. But it's hard. I'm feeling so exhausted, and I've just been talking to Mike and Leah, who are also on this trial, and we were just talking about like how hard it is to sleep and how like intense our dreams are. Last night I had a dream about a policeman trying to get into my house for hours, trying to get me, and it was so stressful and horrible. And although I had like maybe 10 hours sleep last night, maybe even 11, I'm still so exhausted. And this week it's taken so long to like switch my brain off, to like try and get to sleep. And I think like most people in the house are feeling the same thing.
I love you.
I feel so not good right now. I feel so lonely. Just so like depressed, and there just doesn't feel like words. I just feel so like closed, like tired, so tired. I feel like unable to socialize with people, and like it just feels too much and almost hurts. But I also don't want to be alone. It has been a sticky weekend. It's been hard. It's been really hard. I felt so alone and so in my shit, and I knew it would open up, because it always does, and it's opened up, and I'm in the graveyard of this incredible cathedral with the full moon and the yew trees and Boosty and the spiders and the dead. I really feel the dead. It is Imbolc today, which is the midpoint between the winter solstice, which is the longest darkest night and the spring equinox, which is the new year. So it feels like a very special liminal space to be in. And I just feel so grateful to be here, to be on trial for freedom. And I feel so supported by the humans in my life, by the dead, by the birds, by the cats, by the stars, by the moon. And now I'm gonna do some dancing.
Oh no, did I press stop? How does your foot...
So we're just walking back from court. It's been the longest day so far. We've had Mike's evidence, then Mike's cross, and then all the closing speeches, which has been so emotional, so draining, and just so scary how final it's becoming. I'm feeling exhausted and also really angry. I'm feeling a lot of anger towards prosecution, and I'm processing the questions that they asked me throughout this experience, and just feel exhausted from how intense this whole thing has been, and feel... Why are you stopping? Feel really just kind of on the edge, to be honest, and it feels hard to talk about it right now, but it needs to be spoken about, just how this legal system makes people feel, especially people with wombs, whether you're a woman or a non-binary person. We are made to feel so small, and just day in, day out, we're witnessing this in this courtroom, not only in our trial, but also with all the vulnerable people who are being oppressed and repressed and violated by the law. It's not a justice system, and that is just clearer to me than ever before, and I feel so angry about that, and yet can't express it because I have to put on a face for the jury to acquit us. It's just so messy and difficult, and I'm feel completely done in and just also lost. Yeah, there's a depressing update for you. I am so exhausted. So exhausted. It's really caught up with me. The stress and adrenaline has crashed, and I feel so tired.
I wish she pushes her paw against you for a bit of purchase. Oh.
Oh, you're so cute with this little game.
Wouldn't be allowed to do it because you might see live on TV.
So it's the day of the jury going out, and possibly the day of getting the verdict, which is crazy. I was worried I wouldn't feel ready for it to end, because it's been this journey that we've been on together as a house, as a group of people, and there's a grief of leaving in a way and saying goodbye to these people. But it feels like it has come at a time that is perfect, and I actually do feel ready now. I feel scared to go back home, to go back to Newcastle, because it just feels like such a huge transition. But I've got a lot to integrate, and I don't think I'm going to be able to fully do that here. So it's not just about the verdict, it's also this anxiety of like having to leave and like all this other thing which I just don't even know how to begin to like take in. It's like a real new beginning for me, like finding or calling in somewhere to live that's more permanent and more rooted and meets my needs. So it's like this interesting thing of like, okay, I want to be really present today, it's potentially the last day, and also like jumping ahead. So yeah, I feel many things. Once again, starting the day feeling sick and very shaky and anxious, but also like just really hoping for a non-guilty. The closing yesterday was so powerful. Prosecution, like, they're just clutching at straws. I have like a list of all the things that he said, which I'm gonna read out in a video after all of this. But yeah. My tummy's going crazy. Verdict day.
Boosty! Don't drown! There's a drop.
I was thinking I won't be able to help it, even if you know you're not supposed to, and you
We're about to go into court now, and once we're in waiting for the verdict, we're not allowed to leave, and you're not allowed to film inside the court. So I guess I'll just have to do a video update once the verdict is in. We're just on our lunch break. I'm feeling many emotions at once, but more than anything just like excitement and like a sense of solidarity and pride. And we just got a beautiful vegan gluten-free falafel, which I'm very excited to eat. Almost got tripped over there. What I was saying is, yeah, I feel really good and open and like just so grateful for this whole process. I'm just so grateful to be in Peterborough. I really love this city and all the people here. Bring the verdict on. We've been found guilty. The jury and the law have told us that we're burglars. My friend Ash is potentially going to go to prison. My friend Mike is going to struggle with immigrating, even though his partner Ria's visa is going to run out soon. And I watched a woman break down in the toilet today because she'd been cut up by prosecution, by barristers, when she was trying to protect her child. This system is broken. It's so broken. And I'm so angry. I'm so angry. As soon as we got the guilty verdict, it started raining, and it feels like the earth is crying for the desolation of this world and also for hope. I've spent most of the evening crying with grief and anger and rage at this system
I got lost in a lot of despair. I'm in anger, I'm in hopelessness for a moment. And yet I always come back to hope and to love. And I know that this trial represents so much more, and that I can feel and be beyond that, but also I need to be in the despair right now. And I'm just so exhausted. I cannot remember being this tired for a long time. My body is just like done. We're gonna get sentenced tomorrow, which is quite unusual. Usually you have to wait a little while to get sentenced, sometimes months, but this judge wants to get us sentenced straight away. Yeah, doesn't feel like there's many words.
You should post that, saying what would you do.
It's the morning of the verdict. I feel absolutely exhausted. I feel less in despair than I did yesterday, but still really angry. Had dreams about going to prison and having to leave Rue. It's pretty unlikely that I'll go to prison because I'm young and have good character and because I'm white. But it is a possibility still. Which is just fucking crazy. And just with everything happening in the world that has been happening in the world forever, may I say. Not forever, but a long, long time. But everything that is being exposed right now, all of the men that organize and fuel the destruction and desolation in this world, who are just getting away with it. And yet we're being charged with burglary, convicted with burglary. I'm now a criminal. I'm classed as a criminal for rescuing puppies. I rescued those puppies when I was 20 years old. 20. And now I have a criminal record. I feel like the past few hours, my faith and resilience has been deeply questioned. I keep going through waves of like utter desolation and despair at like humanity, which I haven't felt for a long time. I used to feel it all the time, which is when I was really suicidal. And yet this court case is like unpeeled another layer of the despair that I didn't know was lurking below. And it's like despair at just how disconnected we are. I was just speaking to a man handing out gas leaflets on, like gas company leaflets to me. And he told me that he sold his dogs, got rid of them to go on holiday. And I'm like, what? But in that despair of like, I don't have anger towards him or resentment towards him. It's like to this almost untouchable, mysterious, shadowy machine grid of control that we're like living in. That's what I feel so angry and so much despair at. And yet I also know that it's being completely constructed to make us feel this vortex of loss and despair, because then we don't act. But fuck me, it's hard. It's been a real hit to be found guilty and to now be a burglar. What the fuck? But I'm also trying to like laugh at it and be like, okay, clearly I'm a burglar now. I just have to keep shaking my head. It's just one of those days. It's weird going into court, like knowing that the jury aren't gonna see us, and knowing that like it's only the judge that's gonna be judging us now. And part of me just wants to wear this, and yet I know that if I wear this, it's going to look bad and it's going to make me get a harder sentence. And that is just a mindfuckery. Do I stay true to myself and get punished for it? Or do I dress up for court and get less of a severe punishment?
Are you happy to just introduce yourself and the trial?
Hi, I'm Matty and I'm part of the Beagle Rescue Trial Group 3. We were found guilty yesterday and we just received our sentencing today. Some of us have had a custodial sentence, which is pretty serious, and have also been given community service hours. I myself was given a conditional discharge after having to give the court personal details which I really didn't wish for. Throughout this entire process, I'm just realising how broken this system is, and how the people who care about others, who care about those who are vulnerable, including animals, including children, including the elderly, are not protected, and that we have to put our bodies on the line at the risk of having our freedom taken from us. And I was aware of that before I did the rescue, but I had no idea how stressful, humiliating, silencing, demeaning this process would be. And I'm leaving this completely exhausted, knowing that I need a break, that I need a rest, and then I'm gonna start with even more fire, with even more power behind me, because this system tries to break us, this system tries to take away our hope, this system tries to take away our conviction by giving us convictions, and it's not gonna work. I feel more passionate about animal protection, about people protection than I ever have before, and they're probably shitting themselves about that because that was not their intention at all. So after a good rest, I am going to continue campaigning for the Beagles, continue campaigning for Palestine, for every being, and we won't stop until everyone is free.
I'm not like on the brink of tears, but also like I've been crying like just like do you know what I mean?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh!
So we've been convicted. We're criminals now for rescuing puppies. And we got our sentences today. And I am like in shock, so at capacity, so exhausted, so I haven't processed it yet, of course. But it was incredibly difficult. My sentence is completely different, was dealt with completely differently to everybody else, because I'm on PIP. And I was going to get a suspended sentence, which is a custodial sentence, which essentially means it's like you're in prison but you're not, you're outside, and if you
commit any crime within that, you go to prison. Which might sound kind of straightforward, but it's not. None of this is straightforward. They overcomplicate everything. And who I am and who we all are throughout this trial are people who care deeply about justice, about love, about other people. And you can get arrested for holding up a sign these days. You can get convicted of terrorism for holding up a sign these days. So a suspended sentence is really serious. My barrister was so angry with how unfair it was that I was being given a suspended sentence because there was no other option of a sentence for me, apparently. If it doesn't make sense, it's because it doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. They've tried to make something that is senseless sensible, and I can see through it. To the simplicity of something that's become so complicated and overwhelming and cloudy, because then you're vulnerable and defenseless in that cloud. But anyway, I've come away with a conditional discharge, which I don't really understand what that means, but apparently it's better than a custodial sentence, obviously, and also better than being on probation, which was the only other options available to me, which is wild. So yeah, in order to get that though, I had to tell the judge about my past, about what's happened to me in my past, so he could sympathize to me. I had to completely dehumanize myself and be incredibly vulnerable and small and tell this white man on a pedestal above me why he should not give me a custodial sentence. And to do that, I had to tell him about what's happened to me in my past in terms of sexual violence. And I was so angry about that I was being put in this place of feeling like even more dehumanized, even more vulnerable, when I'd already thought I was at the most vulnerable, dehumanized point I could get. And then I realized that I could feel that way. They want me to feel that way, or I could instead choose to feel more empowered and to tell my story with deep roots, and to own it, to be like, this is what has made me. The injustice system, because it's not a justice system, has created the violence that I have endured, that so many of us endure. So I went into the courtroom and I told them, and then the judge gave me the easiest, less severe charge he could, which I don't really understand. And I don't know if I will fully understand it, because it's not, you can't understand this. What we did was beautiful. What we did was for love and was for the safety and protection of others. That is the only thing we need to understand. Everything else is bullshit. I spoke to the prosecution. I actually wrote him a letter, and I read that letter to him. And it was all about the things that he's done to me throughout this trial, the way he's gaslit me, manipulated me, belittled me, humiliated me. And I said it from this place of deep elemental power and rage, but also so much compassion. I even said that I forgave him, because I do. And he cried. He cried. This hard man who's a prosecutor on our case, who wanted to punish us. Even if he didn't, that's what he chose to do. Even if he didn't want us to go to prison, even if he didn't want us to be convicted of this crime, he chose to be a prosecutor on this case. And despite having my voice taken from me throughout this whole process, I held him accountable to that. I held him responsible to that. And Then I left. And now we're out with a tree, just trying to process.
What are you gonna say? That ain't me, bro.
That
That
ain't me, bro.
That's not my.
Pardon? Ah, that's cute. It's crazy because I haven't had a moment to land the past few days. It's been absolute non-stop. And yet we're leaving in an hour because my time in Peterborough has come to a close. I feel it, and why else would I wait here? People have already left. Mike and Ben and Ria have already left. Our house is getting empty and it's time to take all my things down. I feel like a sense of relief and peace. And also there's rumblings for sure inside. But I'm just gonna take some time with these walls and this room that's held me.
It felt so like Mike and I think to a less.
I see it changing all around. See it changing in and out. I see it changing. I feel the waving of love, of love. I see it changing. I see